Over the past few days, a lot of you all have gotten in the comments and recommended a South Korean show on Netflix called D.P. and told me this series is definitely worth a watch. I watched it. Was it worth it? What is up, Netflix fans? Welcome back to my channel. As always, I'm trying to review the brand new movie or series on Netflix every single week, and today's series is called D.P., one that's kind of flown under the radar, but it's got some great responses thus far. We're going to talk about it in this review. I need you guys down below, and if you like this review, be sure to drop your thumbs up down below. So Jun-ho, who unexpectedly becomes a member of the Deserter Pursuit or DP team after joining the military, teams up with Ho-yeol and faces the unknown truth and inevitable reality of those that ended up running from base. So first of all, I love how we're getting a look into the South Korean military here, how almost every male has to become part of it in some way. But more specifically, we get a look into this specific division, the Deserter Pursuit Division, that goes after people who have deserted their position or essentially went AWOL. And the idea of assembling this group of men, some who want to be there, some who do not, is interesting to me. But you have to give us compelling characters and an overall story arc that works extremely well. Every episode holds a different mission or series of missions. In the first episode, our main character in Jun-ho, he gets paired up with someone who he immediately clashes with, someone who takes him in a direction that maybe he doesn't want to go. Jun-ho, he's quiet, but he's very confident and determined as a character, and when we get that mix in the first episode, it doesn't quite work. Something happens, there's a fallout. Thus, he's paired with a different partner in that second episode, and that's when we get to meet Ho-yeol and just the differences in personality. It is drastically different, but episode 2, when they are first paired up, that's when it gets real because we get the camaraderie between the two completely different mentalities, but they're both after the same thing. They're both trying to do what they believe is right, even though one seems overconfident and extremely brash on the outside. But really, you look at how smart both of our characters are, even though they approach it in a different way. I love that, and that's a testament to really good screenwriting. It's also a testament to our actors here and our overall cast, which is really good, and I love the fact that they don't throw anything extra in, right? At least at the beginning. There are a couple of subplots towards the back half of the season, or this limited series, only 6 episodes, by the way, so it goes by fairly quickly. They don't throw anything in that distracts us from the main goal of the series, and the main goal is to experience this emotional trauma and heartbreak, but also show these two different individuals, what they have to go through, but also what they are approaching on their missions, and seeing these deserters, if you will, and why each person that they encounter, whether they are exactly what they expected or not. Won't dive in details. There's a very emotional scene in the first episode. You have to see what a family has to go through when they find out something that deserted the military. That was traumatic in a way, but we see why each of these individuals left in the first place, but also how our two main characters are approaching these situations, trying to find them and essentially do their job in the right way with the mentality of someone who actually cares about doing their job in the first place. And I thought that was so beautiful. This show also has a sense of quirkiness to it, right? There are a couple of funnier situations, even though you have the traumatic side. You also have the interactions between our two characters, and those were really entertaining at times. You have Jun-ho, who is always so focused as a character, and Ho-yeol, who is, just kind of the fun and less intense partner, and those interactions are great. But also, seeing the abuse that they go through, that some of the individuals that they encounter have went through, and the reasoning behind making that decision was so interesting for me. And then you look at the filmmaking of the series, right? The show is so vibrant and colorful. I love some of the shot selection. The cinematography as a whole worked extremely well. And it's not a series that is, maybe what you expect it to be going in. It's not this hardcore, action-packed military drama with a ton of violence, this and that. You get that, right? I mean, at the end of the first episode, we see someone just beat the living crap out of somebody else, but it's all spawning from those emotions that are building up throughout that episode, and anytime we see violence in this show, it's with a purpose, or it's the fallout of an event that happened. So DP did such a great job of establishing all of that in such a surprising, intense, emotional story, balanced with that sense of lightness and at times humor and quirkiness that makes a show like this work extremely well. So again, thanks to you all for the recommendation, but I really enjoyed this series. I mean, I was locked in. I believe the first episode does start out kind of slow. It takes you a bit to get into it. Once you understand the story, you're there. But I like how the series doesn't feel like it has to build certain things up. You figure them out as you go. That is a series, in my opinion, that treats the audience with respect and says, hey, we don't have to show you or tell you everything. You can figure it out, and I like that. Before I give you guys my score, let me know down below, did you enjoy this South Korean series? Is this one that you're going to be binging or already have binged? I know it's been out for a bit, and be sure to drop your thumbs up down below if you enjoyed it. This series beautifully balances the gruesome nature of what these men have to go through with the occasional lighthearted moment, and I thought it was really great. My score is an 85%. Again, it took me a bit to get into the series, and only 6 episodes. I feel like it could have been even longer, but that's like the length that you want a show to be, especially if you're binging, and I feel like Deserted Pursuit is one of those that I may revisit in the future. So thanks again, guys. Appreciate it big time. Come back for plenty more Netflix reviews this Friday. I'll see you soon.